I'm at the second spot where I'm going to take the tree stand down. And this is one that we have documented quite a bit on Midwest Whitetail. This is the stand that I call Death Ridge. And over the years, either myself or my friends have killed some really good bucks out of this stand, and we've seen some really good ones and had some great hunts here. So I'm going to break this one down real quick. I know I've done it before on the episodes of the main show, but for the purposes of the video blog, I'm going to break it down real quick for you. This is actually a main ridge that I'm standing along. In most years, this is in some kind of crop, whether it's beans or corn. I think I'm going to have it in sorghum, part of it back here this year. There's usually food up here. And then these little secondary ridges, the Kubota is facing down one of these secondary ridges, and the stand is partway down that ridge. So I think what the deer do, the bucks anyway, is they come and hit these little secondary ridges during the rut, and they look for does bedded in those spots. It's pretty handy because you can come in from the back door. You don't need to come in across the top in the morning, you know, and bump into the deer that are out in the feeding area. I've got a little spot I've worked out where I come down through the valley, park up by the road, by the neighbor's house. You know, the deer don't really pay attention to any noises that they hear in those places. So then I work my way down the valley and come in the back door to the stand, and the deer tend to be more towards the food. It's about 80 yards back in there, maybe 100 yards back in off the field edge. So I can, if I do it quietly enough, I can sneak in, get set up, and then the deer are still kind of working their way back off the food in the mornings. So it's a really good morning spot. I've had some decent evening hunts there, but it's really more of a morning spot over the years. I think anytime you get these secondary ridges coming off a main ridge, those tend to be bedding areas, and the bucks know that, and then during the rut they check those out. So that's why I think this one works. You know, whatever the reason is, it's been really good over the years. And you know, I'm a firm believer in these little secondary ridges as being prime spots for catching bucks during the rut. You can see the stand over my left shoulder now. It's in this great big giant oak tree. And this ridge is actually pretty high and it's fairly narrow. So the valley isn't that far away, and the wind blows my scent out over the top of that valley. So even deer that are passing within, say, you know, 30 yards or so on the downwind side of the tree, because they're enough lower than what even the base of the tree is, my scent blows out over the top of them. The only deer that have picked me off here have been the ones that, if the wind does switch and it blows down the ridge, or if they're on the next ridge over, they can pick me off because my scent carries, you know, like I said, it's all pretty narrow stuff. The ridges are narrow and the valleys are narrow, so they do tend to pick me up sometimes on the next ridge over. But I like spots like this that are almost foolproof. Come in the back door, you know, they can't really smell you that well when you're in the stand. It's been one of the best spots I've hunted over the years.